Well, this is an exciting game for us. It's a big game always for our fans and our team, and we have a tremendous amount of respect for, Tennessee and the job that they've done this year, and they've really played well the last 2 weeks, and I think it's really going to be important for us to focus on the things that we need to do to improve on, and certainly, a big game for us.
Coach, we'll start you off with Tommy Dees, the Tuscaloosa News.
Hey, Coach. Could you tell me a little bit about what you see in Tennessee's offensive line when you look at them on film and what kind of challenges they present?
Right. Well, they got over 100 starts. I forget we added them up, between them. So they've got a lot of experience. They've got two really, really good tackles, probably both, NFL-type guys that'll be high draft picks when their time comes, and their inside three guys play extremely well. So this is probably the best overall offensive line, we've had to play against this year, and they're very good run blocking. They've done a good job in the run game, rushed for over 200 yards a game, and they've only allowed 8 sacks. So, this is a very, very productive group and very efficient group.
And do they appear to have gotten better when you look at them on film from game one to the more recent games?
Well, I think their whole team has really improved. They're executing a lot better, and I think the O-line has, but I think their entire offensive team is playing extremely well.
Thank you.
Next is Chip Towers, the AJC.
Hey, Coach. I noticed that you have a special teams coordinator. He's also your tight ends coach, and you guys obviously are strong in special teams play. Have you always done it that way, or did you do it the other way where you parceled it among different assistants, and has it helped having a coordinator?
Well, it's the way we've always done it, but we also have, other than the offensive line coach, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach, and a defensive coordinator, we have the rest of our staff coach the special teams as well as myself. So we actually have a coordinator who really does all the background, all the work, all the game planning, and then, when we have a special teams meeting, we have, 4 other coaches and him and me that are kind of the special teams coaches. So we approach it very similar to what you would on offense, where you have 4 or 5 coaches, or defense where you have 4 coaches, and we all have a position assignment and try to do a good job of teaching. But I think one of the things that's really important in special teams is, the carryover that you have, and the players understand what you want from, year to year and game to game, and then they have an opportunity to improve and get good at it, and you can develop players in your program by doing, those things on a consistent basis.
Thanks.
Next is David Pascal at Chattanooga Times Free Press.
Hey, Coach, with Landon Collins having to bounce around like he has the last couple of weeks due to different situations, do you think some may look at that as troubling, having to move a guy around, back and forth like that, but do you think that could actually be beneficial, that he learns both positions and kind of has a better understanding of what free does now that he's back at strong?
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. He certainly had to go through a lot to sort of learn that position and feel comfortable in that position, and I think the more he did it, obviously the better he got, the more confident he got. And I think now, going back to strong safety, I think he has a much better understanding. I think the fact that the free safety plays in a deep part of the field more probably helped him improve some as a player. So there was a lot of benefits to it. You don't really like to do that to players, during the season where they can't just stay in the positions where they have a lot of continuity and a lot of reps, but he certainly did a great job for the team in doing what he did, and it worked out well for us.
And I know you've already touched on Tennessee's offensive line. Just kind of curious about their passing game components. Obviously losing Bray and a couple of really good receivers last year, they had some rebuilding to do, but it seems like in the last couple of games that part has really picked up well for them as well.
Well, I don't think there's any question about the fact that probably starts with the quarterback, that he has played well in the last 2 games and seems a little more confident as he gains a little more experience. And, some of the receivers have improved and developed. The freshman receiver, number 8 North, is become kind of a significant guy for him, and so they have really good pass concepts, and I think the players are starting to sort of understand what's expected of them and executing it probably more consistency, and with more consistency, and they're developing the timing they need to be effective.
Thank you.
Next we have Spencer Tillman at CBS Sports.
Good day, Nick. Some years ago, Bill Walsh was still around with the 49ers at the time, and he would refer to offensive processes as creative and defensive processes as destructive, and he would always say it always takes longer to create something than it does to destroy it. And he would use the Twin Towers as an example of that, how it took them 6 years to create them, and they came down in less than 109 minutes. With respect to that kind of long analogy, would that apply to the maturation process of your offense this year, with the running game struggling early on and then becoming what looks to me like a pretty good 1-2-3 combination, especially with respect to Derrick Henry's development lately? Can you speak to that?
Well, I think the offense has improved. I think it starts up front with the offensive line. That's where we had 3 new starters and not a lot of experience with those guys. And I think as they've played together, communicated together, got more confident and trust in each other, I think that's helped us offensively as much as anything. I think the backs have always been good players. I think Derrick Henry certainly is getting more and more confident as a young player who has gotten the opportunity to play and done some really good things. So, TJ and Kenyon Drake have both, played quite a bit and shown that they have capabilities. Our receivers have played well, and AJ has played well. So, the offensive line coming along has really allowed the other players on offense, I think, to have a better opportunity to show the things that they can do well.
A quick follow-up. Does Derrick have a chance to be special? I'm not one for accolades for young players, and I know you're not as well, but I don't think I've seen a guy that big show the kind of breakaway speed that he showed on the 80-yarder. That was kind of special, I thought.
Well, there's no question that he's got great size and he's got great speed, and I think the biggest thing for Derrick right now is, it's like he told us when we were teaching him pass protection and pass routes and all that kind of stuff. He said, Coach, in high school, I never did any of this. They just handed me the ball or tossed me the ball. So, and I think that that's sometimes true with a lot of really good players. When they come out of high school, to be a complete player, they have things that they have to work on other than when they have the ball. And I think that that's, probably the case with all of our young backs. And, that's what Derrick is going through right now. But he certainly has a lot of talent and ability to be a very good player in the future.
Thank you.
Coach, will finish you out with Dwayne Rankin of the Montgomery Advertiser.
Yes, Coach. O.J. Howard, he caught his first touchdown last week. The progress that he's made, where do you see the most improvement, and where do you see where he needs to grow even more to be a factor in the offense as the season goes along?
Right. Well, O.J. is a really good athlete. He's got really good hands. He's a really good receiver. And he's the biggest improvement that I think that he's made is probably in his blocking. Being a little more physical as a player, which he's done a nice job with as he's progressed through the season. And, he's made some big plays for us in the passing game throughout the season. And, hopefully we'll continue to get that kind of production out of him. But we're really pleased with what he's been able to do for us as a young player this year.